The night was drowning in silence, yet my heart screamed so loudly it could break the sky. Outside, rain tapped against the glass like tiny knives. As I stood frozen, watching the two people I loved most slip away, my daughter's hand let go of mine and reached instead for the Mistress. Welcome to Unseen Romance, a place where untold stories of love, heartbreak, and redemption find their voice. Subscribe, like, and share your thoughts. We'd love to hear from you. I believed my life was ordinary, in the most beautiful way. My husband, my first love, was once the center of my universe. His laughter filled my days, and when he held me, I thought no storm could ever touch us. And then, our daughter was born. My heart split open in the best way possible. She was tiny, fragile, yet fierce. Her first cry became the sweetest music I had ever heard. I promised myself that I would give her everything, every ounce of love I had, every drop of patience, every sacrifice. And for a time, our home was whole. But love, I learned, can rot from the inside while you're too busy admiring the surface. My husband began to change. At first, it was little things. Late nights at work, phone calls he wouldn't take in front of me, a new cologne he had never worn before. I asked questions, but his answers were smooth, practiced. You're overthinking. Don't you trust me? I wanted to trust him, but deep down a storm was gathering. It wasn't long before whispers reached me. A name, a shadow, a woman who wasn't me. I brushed it off. I told myself I was paranoid. But fate has a cruel sense of humor. One afternoon I saw her, by accident. She was younger, radiant, with a smile that looked harmless, but her eyes told another story. They gleamed like someone who knew she had power over what was mine. And somehow, she slithered into our lives, not just through my husband, but through my daughter. She would bring little gifts, pretty dresses, shiny trinkets, things that sparkled in the hands of a child. She would whisper to her, listen to her secrets, laugh at her jokes. Slowly, my daughter's gaze shifted from me to her. And the day I heard my little girl say, "She understands me better than you do, Mom," I felt something inside me die. The Mistress knew exactly what she was doing. She painted me as cold, strict, distant. She whispered lies like poison into my daughter's ears. And my husband? He stood silent, as I lost both of them. I remember one night clearly. My daughter came to me, eyes fierce with defiance. She shouted, "Why can't you be more like her? She listens, she cares, she doesn't judge me." I stood frozen. My hands trembled. How could she not see? I had given her every piece of my heart, every sleepless night, every prayer whispered into the dark. But the battle wasn't mine anymore. She was slipping through my fingers. Nights became endless. I sat by her empty bed, hugging her pillow, smelling the faint trace of her shampoo, wondering, was I really such a bad mother? Had my love been invisible? The day came when she packed her bags. Her small hands stuffed clothes into a suitcase. Her eyes burned with pride, but her lips trembled. She wanted to leave, to live with the Mistress, to choose her over me. I begged, not with words, but with my eyes. I wanted to scream, "Don't go, don't leave me too." But love held me back. Love whispered, "Let her choose, let her learn, even if it breaks you." And so I let her walk away, my child, my heart, my everything. Days passed, then weeks. The silence was unbearable. Every knock on the door, every ring of the phone, I prayed it was her. And then, it was. Her voice trembled. She whispered, "Mom, I made a mistake." The Mistress had changed. the sweetness had rotted into cruelty. Promises turned into punishments, smiles into screams. My daughter was no longer a treasure. She was a burden to her. Even my husband, blinded by his desire, saw the truth too late. He saw the mask fall, but by then, the damage had already been done. One night, the door creaked open. I turned, and there she was. My daughter stood in the doorway, trembling, her face pale, her eyes swollen with tears. She looked smaller somehow, fragile, broken. And then she whispered the words I had dreamt of hearing. "Mom, I'm sorry. I was wrong." I didn't think. I didn't hesitate. I rushed to her, holding her against me. Her tears soaked into my shoulder, and I realized my anger didn't matter. My pride didn't matter. All that mattered was that she was home. I forgave her. Not because I forgot, but because love leaves no room for hate. The mistress faded into the shadows of our story, her name nothing more than a bitter memory. My husband carried his silence, his guilt heavier than any punishment I could give. But me, I chose peace. Because sometimes surviving betrayal is not about winning, it's about choosing love over bitterness. In the end, regret was their shadow, but love remained my light. My daughter's heart found its way home, and though scars remain, I hold her close. Because love, in its purest form, never abandons us. And even in the darkest storms, a mother's arms remain the safest place. Thank you for listening to my story. If it touched your heart, please subscribe to Unseen Romance, where untold stories of love and heartbreak come alive. And in the next chapter, I'll share a tale where silence itself almost destroyed a love that was meant to last forever.